Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves to Scrap, and today I'm bringing you a layout that is my #1 audition for the Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family Design Team. This is my layout that I created using their wonderful products, and I am going to walk you through the process. This is a layout of my daughter and I at the Store of Requirements in Queensland on our recent cruise adventure, and it was a fabulous afternoon. These papers and colour cutouts here that you can see all come together to create such a magical page to recapture that moment when we were in the Gryffindor common room in this amazing shop. I'm using the wonderful Magical Memories paper, which is perfect for a Harry Potter theme. Magical Memories, as you can see, and this is number 5, and it's double-sided, and I'm using both sides, the books on one side and all of the creatures and flowers and bees off that side to build this layout. I'm also going to use this Magical Memories number 3, and I am using the denim dot side because I'm using that as my base to build my project on. I do use this side here also, that's in part of the layout as well. The main feature of my layout comes from Magical Memories number 1, and I am using the book as a feature. I don't actually use the brick wall in this layout, but that will be in the future. And I am using the green in the background as well. I use it for my border, and I also use it for some backing of my photos, which you'll see as we progress. So first of all, I'm going to start cutting out with my craft knife the book. That's a feature. It's the Gryffindor common room, and as you know, they went in to the common room to do their studying, and it was a feature throughout. So that's why I've chosen to use this book as a main part of my layout. And I'm pulling this out carefully so that I don't tear it, and I'm following the lines of the book with my craft knife. And a little hint that I learnt about craft knives: when they start to get a little bit blunt, don't change your blade, just sharpen them with your knife tool. That's amazing. But my husband has sharpened this, and as he sharpened it, it's been the best it's ever been. So that's what I use, and I'm really impressed. So I'm not cutting it as a straight. That's okay, it doesn't matter. It's actually just going to be my frame of my layout at the bottom. And do you know I said that I was using the blue and white? I actually changed my mind and made sure that I added this brown Gather Twigs ink just to give it a shadow effect and lift it up off the page. I was going to go back to the pink, but then I went back to the blue and the white, and I stuck with blue white, and I'm glad that I did when I finished this layout. Now, it was a bit tricky to get this onto the edging because it was very thin and very fine, but it's just patience and playing with the Express-It tape to get it right. What I'm doing now is I'm just marking on my paper, because I'm a frugal scrapbooker. I don't have loads and loads and loads and doubles and triples of papers. I use what I've got and I maximise the use. And I have cut it out behind the book because I knew the book was going to take up that space, and I'm using that part that I took out, as you can see in a moment, to mount the back of the photos that I'm putting towards the top there. And so there's that script in the pink and the purple from the back of the blue and white, which sits in behind that photo. So I fussy cut out all of those books. So I went to the back of the paper and I trimmed out books that I could put in behind my photos to add some interest and build the feeling that the books were part of that that library or feeling of the Gryffindor common room. And I've stack them to the sides to build out my edges, and there looks one in behind the photo. What I'm doing now is I'm just adhering everything down. I do use Express-It tape. It's very good, it's great quality, and I know Scrapbook Fantasies feature it. And I've put down my photos. What I'm doing now with this amazing stencil from Scrapbook Fantasies is I'm actually going into the pages of the books, those little ones, and I'm adding some detail with the stencil and the gathered twigs distress ink. This is just to add a little bit of a feature, give it a bit of a lift. Because of the colour, it looks like it's an old book that's been left and it's started to fade and antique. And if you've ever seen old books, you can see that stippling across the book. What I've done is I've fussy cut out the owl, and I actually use my knife to cut around his feet so that it looks like he's grabbing the book as he's flying through. I'm adding in Neville's frog, of course, the toad that Neville has. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you know who I'm talking about. And I'm popping up this book so it sits over the top of the one at the top left-hand corner over the top of my photo. So it looks like it too is spilling things from its pages. So I'm adding in a bee, and this bee reminds me of Dumbledore and that scene where they say, I don't know about you, but that man's got style, when he turns into the bee to leave his library. So I think it all ties in nicely. I'm just adding in the colour cutouts that Scrapbook Fantasy feature, as well as some fussy cut flowers. That clock is a cutout, the cutout already done, and the flowers are the fussy cut from the back of the paper that I've been using. And I'm building up my clusters, as you can see, by some are being flat and some are popping, and that gives some dimension and detail to the page, and it draws the eye around the page so that you have something to look at. And I'm just inking the edges of the title of the paper, which I cut out of the branding strip, because Magical Memories, that's exactly what this is. And so I've put that into place. Now, using my T ruler from Scrapbook Fantasies, I'm going to line up my letters that I die cut out of the rest of that green paper, the backing of the books, and it says books and cleverness. So I think that ties in nicely. It's a Harry Potter quote describing Hermione, of course. So this goes in. I actually like this ruler. I never ever looked before at making sure that I lined up my letters, but it actually helps quite a lot. So I like the fact that it's got the T, because I can measure from the base of my page using it, and the straight line makes sure that my letters are straight. And I always go, when I'm putting in the end of a word, from the last letter and work backwards. That way I can guarantee that it's going to be in the correct spot, and I don't have to fiddle too much in getting it placed well. So as you can see, Books and Cleverness, that's the title I've given this page. And all of this page here has been using the papers from the Magical Memories, and I haven't added anything other than what was available. Using my punch, I'm cutting out my foliage because I always love to build up my clusters. So once again, even though that's an addition to the page, it's still from the original pages that I'm using as my papers. Just showing that 3 pieces of paper can be stretched to create a full and visually pleasing layout. I'm adding in some Nouveau drops. These are sparkly gold, and I always add Nouveau drops to my clusters because they finish it off, and I put them in clusters of 3 Nouveau dots because 3s are pleasing to the eye and natural in nature, and that's why they don't look harsh when you look on the page. The final thing that I really need to put in here is a little bit of journaling, but I actually keep looking at the page and I'm thinking it's still flat, there's something missing. So I'm just putting in my journaling down here, and it just says the Store of Requirements in Queensland 2023, because that's when we were there. It's my daughter and myself. And it was a really lovely afternoon, as I've already said. So you can see my clusters have come together. You can see those colour cutouts added in. I've done some fussy cutting, as you can see, and built that up. There's the Magical Memories from the branding strip. waste not, want not. That's what my philosophy is. And you can see that owl holding the book. But I'm still not 100% sure that this is finished. And I do have the philosophy of just add more. So it is a book. They are books, and what do books need but bookmarks? So I've gone in and I've cut some tailed banners to put into the books to mark as bookmarks. And at the top here I've got a double, and I've used up the scrap of the paper they've got lying around. So I've got the blue and white dots to carry through from the background, plus I've got the pink strip with the text which ties in the books, and I'm putting this one across the page so that it's like a tab that I'm highlighting important features throughout the text. So I put these in, and I actually now feel like the page is finished. So it's okay to walk away and come back and build a page and add more, but this one whole page here has come from 3 sheets of the Magical Memories paper, and I'm quite pleased with how it turned out, with a little bit of mixed media in the background with my stenciling, the colour cutouts, the fussy cutting, the tags, so you can see them there, like a bookmark. This one here is like it's pointing out some important parts of the text. I've got my title cut from the papers, and that is how it turned out in natural light. So you can see how it looks. There's the book cluster, and when you scroll down the bottom of the page, you find the other corner book cluster, so that you've got the balance. And you'll notice that I only use the mixed media on 3 books, which is the rule of 3s. So everything ties together. I'm Kathy from Kathy Loves to Scrap. You can follow me on Instagram, see all of my layouts where I leave them all. I hope something here has inspired you. It's been great. This is an audition. Thanks for watching, and I hope to share soon.